Welcome to Concrete Block, the podcast where we dive into the latest news and current events shaping our world. We're starting off with a significant development in international relations as U.S. President Donald Trump recently met with Chinese President Xi Jinping in China. The meeting has garnered considerable attention, particularly regarding the sensitive issue of Taiwan. According to reports, President Xi warned that mishandling Taiwan could put the U.S.-China relationship in great jeopardy. This stern warning highlights the complex and delicate nature of the relationship between these two global powers. President Trump, in an interview with Fox News, suggested that both China and Taiwan should cool it, indicating a desire to de-escalate tensions. He also mentioned that he hasn't approved another potential large sale of weapons to Taiwan, stating, "I may do it, I may not do it." This approach reflects the U.S.'s long-standing policy of strategic ambiguity towards Taiwan, leaving open whether Washington would come to Taipei's aid in the event of a Chinese attack. It's essential to understand that Taiwan is a democratically self-ruled island that Beijing claims as part of its territory. Since 1979, the U.S. has recognized Beijing and not Taipei, acknowledging the Chinese position that there is one, China, and Taiwan is part of it. However, the U.S. maintains an unofficial relationship with the island, which includes providing defense articles and services to enable Taiwan to maintain sufficient self-defense capabilities. The situation remains complex, with both sides seeking to maintain stability while pursuing their interests. As we continue to monitor this developing story, it's crucial to consider the perspectives of all parties involved and the potential implications for global relations. We'll be right back with more of today's top news on Concrete Block. Good afternoon, and welcome back to Concrete Block. I'm your host, Walter. We're following a developing story out of Washington, where the Justice Department is preparing to seek an indictment against former Cuban President Raul Castro. This move is seen as part of the Trump administration's increasing pressure on Cuba, with President Donald Trump threatening possible military action against the communist-run island. According to reports from multiple sources, including the BBC and France 24, the potential indictment is related to Castro's alleged role in a 1996 incident involving the shooting down of 2 American planes. The U.S. has been critical of Cuba's human rights record and its socialist government, with President Trump stating that he wants to change the island nation's communist leadership. Cuba has not officially commented on the reports of an indictment, but Foreign Minister Bruno Rodriguez struck a defiant tone, saying that despite the embargo, sanctions, and threats of the use of force, Cuba continues on a path of sovereignty towards its socialist development. Analysts say that any attempt by U.S. special forces to arrest Castro could meet stiff opposition in Cuba, particularly among government loyalists. Professor William Leo Grande, an expert on Latin American politics at the American University in Washington, told the BBC that further destabilizing the island could backfire on the U.S., potentially leading to a mass migration crisis. We want to hear from you, our listeners. What do you think about the U.S.'s increasing pressure on Cuba? Do you think it's an effective way to bring about change, or could it lead to unintended consequences? Share your thoughts with us on social media using the hashtag #MyConcreteBlock. Welcome back to Concrete Block. We're wrapping up today's show with a significant update from the world of international security. Reports are emerging that a leader of the Islamic State group in Nigeria has been killed in a joint U.S.-Nigerian mission. According to statements from both U.S. President Donald Trump and Nigerian President Bola Tinubu, Abu Bakr al-Manuki, who is believed to be second in command of the Islamic State group globally, was targeted and killed alongside several of his lieutenants in the Lake Chad Basin. Details about the operation are still scarce, but it's understood that this mission is part of a recently formed U.S.-Nigeria partnership focused on intelligence sharing and combating terrorism. The killing of al-Manuki is seen as a significant blow to the Islamic State's operations in West Africa, where the group has been actively organizing and financing attacks. Analysts view al-Manuki as a key figure in the Islamic State's West African branch, having taken a leading role after the death of the previous leader in the region. His background includes fighting in Libya when IS was active there over a decade ago. The U.S. had sanctioned him due to his involvement with the group. This operation comes at a time when Nigeria is grappling with a multifaceted security crisis, including battles against multiple armed groups affiliated with the Islamic State. The presence of IS affiliates in Africa has grown more pronounced since the collapse of the IS Caliphate in Syria and Iraq in 2017. It's worth noting that while this operation may disrupt the terrorist network in Nigeria and the broader West African region, the long-term implications and how it affects the security landscape remain to be seen. As more details emerge, we'll continue to follow this story and provide updates. That's all for today's Concrete Block. Remember to like, share, and subscribe, and until next time, stay informed.